The topic I want to share with you guys is badass words to use to create awesome connections with people. So the biggest complaint that I always hear from coaches is they don't want to sound salesy, right? Now, I can't see any comments. I know that's probably been like the theme. So I can't see comments. I can't see hearts. I can't see anything like that. Just so you know, so if you're asking questions, I can't see them. But that's the number one complaint is coaches don't want to sound salesy. Oh, I saw a heart. Yippee skippy. Sometimes you feel like you're out there talking into like this black hole of people. You're like, is anybody out there? So anyway, coaches don't want to sound salesy. And I think of like, it comes down to this. It's the amount of resistance. So you think of the mall, like there's low resistance and then there's high resistance. And I think of the mall, we've all walked through the mall and we've had those people approach us wanting to curl our hair, put face cream on us, I don't know, do all kinds of really spray perfume on us. And it feels intrusive. It feels like we're being violated. It feels like they don't even know our needs. I mean, what if you have allergies? Like they don't even ask to find out your needs. It's like they just want to smear it all over you. Hey, Rayanne, how you doing? So that creates resistance, right? I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go through one of those kiosks at the mall, I am like freaking suction cup to the side, trying to like avoid them so that they don't make eye contact, or I'm like burying my face in the phone. It's ridiculous. I don't want you guys, when you get off this segment with me, to ever feel like you are doing that to the people you're talking to. So I am going to give you concrete words to use. And mind you, there's not like bad words and, good words. It's just a spectrum of these are okay, but the ones I'm going to give you are a lot better and they'll give you a lot more mileage. And the whole thing is when you have low resistance, you're going to create more of a connection with people. You are going to have a softer, more approachable feel about you, and people are going to connect with you. Hi, Patty. You are going to feel, people are going to think you're more approachable in the way you use your words, and it's going to feel like what you're saying is about them and that your intentions are to help them. The difference with high resistance is like that mall setting, right? You feel salesy, it feels abrasive, it feels pushy, and it always feels like it's the person you're talking to, it always feels like it's about you. It doesn't feel like it's about them. So they create this resistance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys 11 badass power words to use and give you some examples on how to use them in your conversations, whether it's in a post or in private conversation or whether you're talking to somebody live. So let me see some hearts if you guys are really excited to hear these words, because I guarantee they're going to change the way people respond to you. Okay. So, and I'll tell you that these same words work. This isn't just a Beachbody thing. These work across the board. They'll work with kids. They'll work in conversations at work. It'll even work with your spouse sometimes. No. Okay. So let's get started. And I will say, I'm going through this list and I'm going to share this list in the group when I'm done with this call. So don't feel like you can't write fast enough, because for the sake of time, I'm going to go through this, give examples, but you will get this list when I'm done with this call. Okay, so the 11 words are, okay, first of all, calling our products. You're not saying, will you buy my product by Friday? Or will you buy this by Friday? Or Shakeology by X, Y, and Z. Think about what you're doing. You are sharing tools that work, sharing tools that you've used to give you more energy, give you greater results, give you, the weight loss you are looking for so that you're able to get in your jeans again. I am sharing these tools with you because I love them and they have worked for me. And you don't want to say, yeah, I'm selling these products because I know they work. No, you're sharing tools. Okay. Number 2, I am excited to get you started by Friday, as opposed to if you buy a challenge pack by Friday, X, Y, and Z. My husband's texting me, he's downstairs. Thing is, buying something makes it feel like higher resistance, like it's a transaction. But I'm excited to get you started so that you can get the results you've told me you've been dying to get and are so excited to get. So get you started instead of, if you buy X, Y, and Z. Get rid of the buy word and think, I'm going to get you started. Number 3, are you open to hearing more? Is great, because people don't want to be viewed as closed. So you're leading them into a yes. Hey, husband, are you open to taking me to dinner tonight? See, it works with spouses too. Are you open to X, Y, and Z? As opposed to, do you want to take me to dinner tonight? That's a yes or no question. As well, it just sounds like more like they have to do something. And so it's going to put up resistance. So are you open to sounds softer, more approachable, and of course, I want to be viewed as an open person, so I'm going to say yes. I'm open to hearing about your sneak peek or listening to your business opportunity webinar. Sure, I'm open to that. Okay? I don't even know what number we're on. 1, 2, 3. Number 4. Okay, this is similar to are you open, but this is open-ended and it gives you a lot more information. Okay. So, how would you feel about starting Shakeology and having more energy and working through some of the struggles that you have with skipping breakfast and not having enough time? How would you feel about that? Compared to, would you consider? Now, would you consider is not bad, but would you consider is yes or no, but how would you feel gives the person, it gives you more information. Gosh, I would feel great about doing that. I'd feel kind of scared about doing it because what if it doesn't work? What if blah, blah, blah? Point is, how would you feel about joining my X, Y, and Z? Gives you so much more information and it comes across to the person you're talking to like you care about how they feel about the relationship you're building. Okay, number 5. This one's one of my favorites. Say thank you as often as possible. Like Jamie was saying in his video, like the more you just put it out there, like thank you, thank you. People don't say thank you and show appreciation to other people enough. Thank you for your time. Thank you for letting me get to know you more. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you, as opposed to I appreciate. I appreciate is not bad. It just sounds a little bit more transaction-y than thank you for being on this video tonight. I really appreciate it. I know you could be with your family right now, but you're here and you're learning 11 badass words that are gonna make you a rock star coach and open up so many doors for you. So thank you. Use thank you, use it often, and share why if it suits you. Okay, the next one. There's not another, like, don't use this. It's just use the word because. I feel, Becky, you will be a great coach because you're on this call tonight and I saw your Facebook and you're already posting. You're already excited about your transformation. You're talking it up and leading others in the challenge group. I feel you would be a great coach because... boop, 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 boop. Because that makes it more personal. It shows you're paying attention. You're giving reasons why you believe in them. As opposed to, I think you'd be a great coach. So, and think about how you can put in because and make it more personal. It's that bridge that, I know you're going to love Shakeology because you told me how much you struggle with getting breakfast in, and this is going to be your solution. So see what I'm saying? Adding the because gives them a reason and adds more value to their life. The next one, using and instead of but. Okay, so an example is, and remember when Bonnie was saying earlier today, using the feel, felt, found. So this takes it to another level. I used to feel that this coaching opportunity was a scam. and what I have found since then, that's great. Because if you say, but what I have found, but has a negative connotation, but also implies take everything I just said and throw it out the window because this is how I really feel. So then it loses its empathy. So you can say the exact same thing, feel, felt, found, but instead of saying, but what I found, and what I found, it's leading to the positive. Short, 1 3-letter word, and one can take it positive and the other one has a negative connotation. So using and over but. Okay. This is similar to thank you, but it's just different in the end of the conversation, and I bet you'll be able to guess why. Okay, this is great. Saying, you're welcome. So when someone thanks you for something or says X, Y, and Z, look at them and say, you're welcome, as opposed to no problem. Now, so when you think of no problem, is no positive? Is problem positive? So you're putting 2 negative words together. No problem. So your brain is hearing no, your brain is hearing problem. We want people on the receiving end of us to hear you're welcome. Small little words create a much different feel and reduce resistance when you're having conversation with people. You're welcome. No problem. Okay. Now, getting rid of the word price and using the word value. So, I shared with you that Shakeology is $129. For that value, you get 30 meals, all your vitamins, kick-ass probiotics. I mean, we've all heard about gut health lately, right? This is like the rock star of gut health, and it's going to cover 1 meal. So you get all of that for that value, not price. Price makes it seem like a transaction and a negative. Value makes it sound like they're getting all of this for this value. One little word makes the biggest difference in how it's received to somebody else. Okay, the next one, positive. How does that sound to you? So that's open-ended. That gives you a lot of information, as opposed to make sense. Make sense can be a little bit condescending, like, dumbass, does it make sense? How does that sound to you? It's a softer approach, and it's open-ended, and it shows that you care about how they are receiving what you're sharing with them. Not selling them, there's tools you're sharing with them, or the opportunity you're sharing with them. Okay, number 11. All right. Now, this is one I actually learned. I think I told you guys earlier this week, I used to work at a psychiatric hospital. This was the number 1 no word. You don't ever use this word. And it's why. Don't use the word why. Because, why? Because think about when you're a little kid and you did something wrong. What does your mother come at you and do? Why didn't you clean your room? Why didn't you eat your dinner? Why did you do X, Y, and Z? Where were you? You didn't come home. Don't use why. It puts people immediately on the defensive. Don't use it with your husband either. Another one that's very similar to why that you don't want to use is tell me. Tell me why you didn't do this. Tell me why you didn't do the laundry. Tell me why you didn't buy on Friday when you said you got paid on Friday. So throw that out and think about wording it the way they taught us in counseling to not put people on the defensive. Share with me how come. So you can say share with me. You can say how come. You can say, help me understand. And for those of you that jumped on, don't feel like you got to write these down. I'm going to post these in the group later. I made it all cutesy-tootsy for your little binder. So don't worry about that. But you can say, how come, share with me, help me understand, as opposed to why and tell me. Okay? So those are the 11 tips, or the 11 words I wanted to share with you guys that reduce resistance, have a softer approach, will have people opening up to you more, and it won't feel salesy. It'll feel like an awesome transaction that is mutual and that you are caring about what they're saying and it adds value. Now, to end this, I'm going to give you 3 tips that are just general tips. And the first one is, and this one's going to take a little bit of work, but always end. So you can flip everything around. One of the things, so every concept, every word has a shadow word. So you could say somebody is, maybe somebody is really, really, oh gosh, I can't think of something right off the top of my head. Really, really clean, like OCD clean. But then the shadow word would be like obsessive, right? So some people could see it as a positive, but then the shadow side to that same word could be obsessive. So what you want to do is always use the lighter concept. So here's an example. Do I have to pay that $16 business fee? Like, do I have to pay that? Or, you know, do I have to buy Shakeology every single month? Okay, so you don't want to end, oh, here's another one. Do I have to do, so like the last 2 weeks of the Ultimate Reset are vegan? I would die. Do I have to do that? Okay, ultimately, yeah, they need to, but you can always end in a positive. So an example is, do I have to pay that $16? I never say yes or no. I say, you know what? For that value, let me share with you what you're getting. So I used to have a car lot and we had to pay for our own website. We had to do all of our own customer service. We had to deliver all of our, it was a pain in the butt. For that $16 value, you're getting your own website. It's paying for all the people in the customer service department to take the majority of your calls for you that you need to do like through corporate. It's also paying those guys in the warehouse that's shipping all the product. Yeah, you don't have to ship or deliver products yourself. It gets shipped right directly to their house. And it pays for the hundreds of thousands of dollars in infomercials that Beachbody runs that drives brand awareness and customers and leads right to you. That is one hell of a value you get for $16. So instead of going, yeah, like Bonnie said, and apologizing, yeah, you gotta pay that $16. Let me tell you what kind of value you get. And you don't have to worry about any of that because they do it for you for just $16. So that's an example of taking something that might be a resistance and showing that brighter side to it and creating value around it. And if you guys ever have examples like you want me to share, I can do them later, but I wanted to just give you one example for the sake of time. But every, you know, like I used to work for Enterprise Rent-A-Car and we had to sell that extra damn insurance. I hated that part of the job. But people would say, do I have to get that extra insurance? And I would say, let me share with you what it's gonna do. And then I would share with them the kind of coverage and create the scenarios I've seen happen and how it's gonna protect them. I hated selling that crappy insurance, but I had to. My job and numbers depended on it. So always finding a way to shine light and the positive for what matters to them. So ending things always and flipping it to a positive. Okay. Number 2, second tip of the 3 tips, always end in an open-ended question. So open-ended questions are awesome because they give you so much information and it keeps the conversation going. So when someone's backing away from something and doesn't really want to engage, an open-ended question always gives you that opportunity to leave the door open to have them answer more in a way that you're asking for more information from them. So always end whatever conversation in an open-ended question. Tell me more about, share with me, stuff like that. Okay, third thing. Last thing. Now, one of the biggest questions I get is, how do I close? And I learned this from my pharmaceutical career, to be totally truthful, because we would have doctors promise us for months and months and months and months they would write our product, and they wouldn't. And they would throw all these what are called smoke screens. So whenever they throw objections at you, oh, it's the price. Oh, I don't, you know, whatever. I don't see that kind of, whatever. Whatever someone's throwing at you is called a smoke screen. It's an excuse. It's bullcrap, okay? So, but those are good because those give you opportunities to address what's ever on their mind, whatever's holding them back. So if you, over the course of 6 months, have talked to somebody and they have thrown at you price, and they've thrown at you, I don't know if I can do online workouts. I don't know if I can do this business. I'm too busy, blah, 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 blah. And you've addressed all of those, and they've kind of half committed. And you're like, you know what? I need to freaking move on. Like, this person just is whatever. So what I would share with you, first, you've got to earn the right to close. You don't want to close somebody you've not actually had conversations and find out what value they have, what they're looking for, what their struggles are, and now you filled those holes with our sharing tools to get them success. Once you've done that, then you've earned the right to close. And then you can say this. So what I say is I recap. So let me pick somebody I see. Darlene. So Darlene, we've been chatting since August, and since August, you've shared with me that you're really struggling to lose this last 20 pounds, that you don't have time to work out, and I shared with you how Beachbody On Demand is going to really help get you access to these programs. You shared with me that you lack energy, that you don't sleep well at night. You've shared with me, and I've shared how Shakeology can help you with that, blah, 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 blah. You recap the things that they've thrown at you and the solutions you offered. Then at that point, you can say, you know, Darlene, share with me. I've addressed all the things you've brought up. Share with me what's holding you back. Done. So they're either at that point going to bring up another objection or another smokescreen, or they may just say, you know what, I'm not just interested. And that's great, because bless and release on your part, you can go move on to having conversations with other people. Just say, share with me what's holding you back. But the key is you have to earn the right to say that. And that's through conversations and finding out their needs, their value, and recapping like you've been paying attention, because you're a great listener all along, and reminding them of all those positive little breadcrumbs. So what's holding you back? So I'm going to ask you guys, what's holding you back from using these 11 power words that are going to reduce resistance and have people connect with you in a badass way, so you can start sharing more tools, because you're an amazing freaking coach with an amazing freaking upline that has you in this group. And I will post this in the group when I'm done. All right, guys, have a great, great Monday night.